On tonight's program, I am being told, and we have our attorneys looking into it, but I am being told that if I show the things that I have to show you tonight, if I show them and they're not blurred, that a case could be made that I should go to jail for child pornography. It's, according to the law, this kind of depictions that I am going to show you you're only able to show them in an academic setting or in a museum. Anybody else, you'll be nailed for spreading child pornography. But what I'm showing you tonight is what is coming in your children's textbooks. It is the first sexual education redo in 25 years. Imagine in this society what the teachers' unions are putting into our books now. It involves third grade education of mutual masturbation. So little Johnny and little Susie can get together and masturbate, and it's okay, together. Over the last few months, I have been exposing things like the pandemic war game called Event 201. That was sponsored by the World Economic Forum and Bill Gates. I have told you the truth behind the Marxist movement called Black Lives Matter. I have told you the beginnings of what the World Economic Forum is doing to destroy capitalism, and it is called the Great Reset. Yesterday, I tweeted out something that came from the United Nations, where they are talking about the Great Reset, that now COVID has shown us that we need to reset our society. And it goes right directly to taking down the free market, the Western culture, America, and society as we know it, brick by brick. Our children are being targeted directly in the classroom. Comprehensive sexuality education is now being voted on in states all over the country. In some states, it's already signed into law. It will be in your child's textbooks. It is the most disgusting and explicit content I have ever seen. It is disturbing. I got home last night, and my wife said, "How was your day?" And I really couldn't even answer. She asked me 3 hours later, "So what happened today?" I said, "Nothing, honey." And that's the problem. Nothing. I don't know why people won't stand up. What are we afraid of? I was mocked and ridiculed 10 years ago for saying I fear for my country, that we're going to lose our country to Marxism. Well, here we are. And I'm telling you, we are one election away from losing our country. And both sides know it. They feel it. They know it. And I was mocked for crying over that. I'm done crying over that. Because there's something else that we're on the verge of losing that is far more dear. And the consequence is eternal. We are about to lose our children. And that threat is very real. Big tech has them controlling the up next that we've shown you over and over again. They are controlling the algorithms of what's next. Your kids watch YouTube, they most likely just keep watching them. Just keep watching them, and YouTube is feeding it. It's brainwashing. We've shown you the algorithms on what they're doing. So big tech is brainwashing them. Gaming is teaching them to kill. Online social media, if my kids bring one more piece of news from social media, my kids, and try to tell me, no, they don't know. You don't know how to find the truth. How is a 14-year-old going to know the truth? And then we send them to indoctrination camps, formerly known as public schools, and private schools, and charter schools, and Christian schools that don't have the spine or the spiritual insight to see the evil that is in Marxism and BLM. What are you afraid of? Is it that you're afraid, or is it just you're just too comfortable? Which is it? If you're too comfortable, I don't know what's going to wake you up. I don't know. If you're afraid, I understand. It's a scary time to be in America. It is. You're afraid of losing your job, your friends, your family through the cancel culture. You're afraid of losing your country because they have done a number on you for a long time. They've told you that the promise of America, that the days of your children having a better life than you are over. Well, who told you that? The same administration, the same Barack Obama and Joe Biden that said the economy will never get better, that we'll never create more jobs. When Donald Trump said that's a lie, we'll create, I don't know how many millions he promised at the time, I even scoffed and said, I mean, yes, the economy is not over and we can do more than we're doing, but that's ridiculous. And I believe we hit them. We hit a job and an economy that has never been hit in this country's history. And we believe that there's not a better tomorrow. Of course there is. If we get Marxism, socialism, and government out of our way. There is a better tomorrow for our children, but only through the Constitution and the free market and decent principles and morals. I have to tell you, I'm afraid of losing my freedom. I'm afraid of losing my voice. If this election goes the other way, my voice and voices like mine will be silenced. But I am more afraid to losing my child to the darkness, to the hatred, chaos, and the lies from the author of all lies that are being spun by BLM and Marxist and revolutionaries. We have already lost one generation. They are now ensuring that we lose this one that is coming up right now. And your kids are being taught that you're too old, you don't get it. If you're white, you're a racist. If they're white, they need to apologize and stand in the back of the line literally soon to ride in the back of the bus. We are Americans. And once we roared passionately like lions, and we followed it with action that conquered lies because we had steel in our spines. We knew the truth and we used it as our shield. The truth that all men are created equal, that 2 + 2 do equal 4, that man should be judged by the content of our character, not the color of our skin. That protests are American, but organized riots that set out to create fear, to intimidate the populace into destruction. And the destruction of our Constitution is the very definition of domestic terror. And we were clear on that. We were clear that the family matters, that it's the universal building block. And it is now being openly dismantled. BLM is calling for the end of the traditional family on their own website. But most Americans fail to do their basic homework. We are no longer roaring like lions. We are bleeding like sheep. We must not rise up in anger or with violence, but we must rise up together with righteous indignation, with a firm reliance in divine providence. We should today be in every school collectively letting them know they work for us, not the other way around. These are our children. for the sake of our wives, our husbands, our children, our religions, our God, and our liberty, we must begin to stand up united and stop evil dead in its tracks and drive that darkness back into the abyss from which it came. If we don't stand now and defend our families and our children, then we are indeed lost. And Saul Alinsky, who dedicated his book for Rules of Radicals to Satan, and Marx, who brought death and destruction to the entire world, whose teachings killed more people in the 20th century than anything other than disease, then those people were right, that men can be bullied. Man cannot rule himself. You need a strong man to tell them what to do and who they'll become because they're sheep. Well, I will not bleat.